Hello and welcome everybody, and thank you for your patience. We are back. This is the Sofa Broker podcast with myself, Solomon Charles Edward Strickland, and this legendary man on my right, or your left, Mr. Daniel McPeake.
Don't I do the Daniel McPeake bit?
You can do the Daniel McPeake bit now
have we all of a sudden turned into like the Beatles, where you do something first all the fucking time?
It's a good night from me, and it's a good night from him.
It could be a good night for me, but I like fall asleep at about 8:30 every night now.
Okay, well, bonjour. Bonjour. How are you?
Mate, I am really good.
Yeah.
I'm on top of the world.
You look. I know. I don't physically, but one feels that you look and your atmosphere is lighter.
Oh, good word. I like that. Yeah. There's a sense of recovery.
Yeah,
that has happened.
It's a really good word.
Yeah, and enlightenment. I mean, before we do get into it, I would just like to shout out to Stan, our IT guy. Congratulations for being 18.
Happy birthday, Stan.
Yeah,
producer Stan.
For Broker is here. Is back. We've got a load to talk about. A load has gone on. Jesus Christ. What is happening in the world? And I'm not going to be down on everything like I usually am. But what has gone on? Interest rates finally, as people that are following me, which
I completely forgot. We are a property-based podcast.
And sometimes I am also allowed to talk. So everyone that has been following me, which is loads of people, will notice that I was right. Interest rates did drop when I said they would. But, has it made a change? What's happening in the real estate world to make you want to stay in agency?
Ooh, I love it when we have unscripted ones, because they're all unscripted. That's a great question. For me, I think, apart from interest rates and apart from what's happening in America politically, which does affect the rest of the world, and I do feel there's a change for good, just in terms of how people feel.
Kamala or Trump?
Kamala, all day long.
And she brats. Go Brats.
She's just cool. Did you see the picture I put up on Instagram of her when she was about 20 as a student?
No.
She's so cool. She looks like she's in Echo and the Bunnyman. It is so cool. I'd vote for her all day long. In fact, I was going to ask my friends in America whether I am allowed to actually vote by proxy.
just
for the first time ever, I feel like just getting off my ass and voting for someone. Anyway, I'm not here to talk too much about politics.
I'm going to balance it out by saying I still love the hilarity
Thank you.
of the Trumpster. And it doesn't matter to me. I'm not...
he's right there.
Yeah.
Hey, Donald.
I'm not American. I can't vote, so I don't care. So it's
Mate,
just...
you love Americans.
It's just... some of them now, yeah. It's not everyone.
Sorry.
So go on then. So...
what do I think? Do you know what? Since I've had my hiatus, shall we say, and taken a little bit of a break from being attached to something, albeit I've been...
Had another holiday.
For those of you who actually love me and adore me and are friends and in the industry and whatever, I have not been on holiday.
He has.
I've been squirreling away.
On holiday.
I've been on holiday. Anyway, I put a lot of weight on. I've had a lot of fun.
When you went on this...
Do you know what? I met someone the other day, and despite the fact I put a load of weight on, they said, do you know what? You look fantastic.
You look good.
And I don't feel particularly great, but I know that from here up and inside here, tickety boo. I feel great.
I was going to say, have you dyed your hair?
No.
Right, because I think it's growing back.
Actually, do you know what? When I was in France, shut up. When I was in France,
no, I think it's growing back.
I didn't shave, and I didn't cut my hair for about 6 weeks, which was about the longest ever. And although I did the usual, went out that way and not enough up there, but there was, a sense of, I don't know, there's something like a good greenhouse that you look after and water and give it enough sun.
Yeah.
Something within me is coming out. And to answer your question, I feel positive about the industry, but I always do. I wouldn't be doing it for 25 years if I didn't. We've had a lot worse.
Actually, good point.
We've had a lot worse than this. Yeah. But I think what's different about the last few years is just the general... And the UK has really created a rod for its own back. We've made it very difficult for people to transact. and we've made it very difficult for people to do business with us, and that stems all the way back from Brexit.
Yeah.
But I do feel, having got out of a certain sort of company scenario and been very free and spoken to everyone I want to speak to and all that kind of stuff, without any sort of preconceived ideas about who they are and what they do, I feel there's an amazing opportunity for people, especially for people like you and me, actually, who do look at opportunities and do faff around and don't always sort of just toe the line and go do that sort of 9 to 5 kind of thing. I'm seeing a lot of people trying stuff, and some of it doesn't look so great, and some of it looks amazing, and whatever, and that's fine. It's like, that's like music taste. There are different brands, there are different types of people in our industry, always have been. But there's definitely, you've sort of stepped into the same realm that I'm in, and you've probably seen it really quickly, and if not much more intensely than I have, given your status.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate you saying that.
You probably feel what I felt over the last 2 or 3 months, rather. God, it has been that long, hasn't it?
It's been.
God, it's so nice to be out talking to you, mate. This feels great.
It does. Something is, and I think it's because of us. It isn't necessarily the outside. Something feels better, and like you said, well, not like you look, because you are a bit heavier, but like you feel, the world has got a bit brighter, and maybe that's just for us. Some things are still going to be the same. Some things are still really stupid. I'm still amazed by the length of time conveyancing takes when you buy a house. It's like, I know that there's people out there, probably friends of yours, Solly, that can go and buy a £500,000 car that afternoon and drive it away that evening. But when there's a £500,000 house to be done, there's a 6-month process.
I never thought of it like that.
I've never. I mean, you buy cars like that regularly.
Can you money launder buying cars?
I don't know, and that's not fact check that for some reason. But that's kind of always annoyed me. I know. So what I'm trying to allude to or get to, stuff like that is never going to change, right? Real estate is going to change. The fact that 1 million prop tech companies pop up and 99% of them are useless, they're not really solving anything, or they're taking up time to look like they're solving anything. Yeah, we was the same, and we get deluded and we get caught up in problems we think that exist because we say they exist and they don't. It's still. I was talking to someone the other day. Someone else, who wanted us to do some work with him, and I said, look, it's as simple as this. Property, you need a front door and someone to walk through it. That's it. Yeah. Right. Everything else, we are still, and this is what I've relearned. Okay.
Yeah.
We are still just a people business.
Totally.
Okay. We still, you can have a Nokia 3210, which, you probably remember them when you probably got one for your 40th birthday. Or you can have a, state-of-the-art new Samsung swung.
Well, the things go...
Yeah, that one. You can have one of them.
My tech.
Yeah, but both of them do the same job.
Yeah.
So
But on that note, you talk about the front door and the people. All you got, and then either side of that is how do you get the front door and how do you get the people? It really, that is just the linear,
door knocking.
That's the linear nature of our business.
Door knocking. Anyone that says that isn't the way forward or isn't what they want to do, go away, do something else, because you're not going to make money unless you put some shoe leather on the ground and you go knocking on doors. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying you got to chase everybody. I'm not saying you got to knock on everything. You can. We've showed people how you can map out and how you can get to it. But in this market, in every market, in any market, go knock on people's doors, because you will make money.
I think for those who are sort of scared by that notion, and I probably put myself in that category, that's just lack of practice, but that would scare me right now. Mm-hmm. And 20-year-old me as well, when I was a bit more sort of carefree. But I think on that note, it's all about, you've talked about this a lot over the years, about turning up. And now everyone else is academies and everything.
Have you seen how? Just
re-quoting.
Before we start talking about, academies, there is now a lot, right? Everyone. I'm not going to list who's got academies. I'm really. I just want to say,
by the way, talking of academies, just quickly in parenthesis.
In your what?
Parenthesis.
What is
in brackets?
Why don't you just say in brackets?
Because I just want you to know.
It's American. Is he being American?
No, it's not.
Oh, I thought we moved away from that. Oh, welcome back.
Physically, maybe.
Yeah. Okay,
Anyway, just on the academy thing, before you talk about what I think you're going to talk about, how brilliant is it to see people who have done our academy doing deals at the moment?
Oh my God!
I tell you what, I've just got off the phone with someone who's done 2 or 3, I think, this month, who did our academy, and I know there are agents out there my age and who have been doing it for years and years and years who have actually, on the flip side, struggled over the summer to do some deals. And I'm not saying that our academy is better than these guys, because these guys have been doing it for years.
And we would never say
but
that
it
anyway.
just shows that if you do take on board things and turn up and do knock on doors and maybe badger people more than the average person might want to badger someone, you can do business. And I think that's fantastic. Anyway, what are you going to say?
Yeah, I think it's just amazing, and I just want to say a big thank you to everyone that's decided to do an academy, and from different operations, different branches, different firms that are out there, and they are replicating what we've done. I mean, there's a couple now, that I can think of, and they're probably doing exactly the same. I think actually some people are even just sitting in your house.
Do you know what?
And they might even be in your cupboard. You want to make sure you and your wife ain't there, doing the stuff that you do, which is becoming more and more rare as you keep complaining. But you want to check no one's hiding underneath the table or underneath. Oh, was it on the table? Sorry, I didn't mean it. It wasn't table. I meant to say bed.
It's funny you say that, because I think now is the time for me to tell you that actually all of these academies that you see out there, they were just created by me while I've been away, and they're just AI bots.
Yeah,
and I've actually decided just to rip you off.
Mate, well, you've done it so well.
I've decided to steal your business and rip you off,
as every richer person does to us lower firms. Us lower working class people. We all end up coming up with the ideas and getting attacked. Which actually, have you had a letter yet?
I knew you were going to say that.
Stan.
Producer Stan.
Can you remember this bit? Has Prince William written back from the letter we sent at Christmas? No.
If that gets to this Christmas, can we complain to something?
How are you feeling about that? I mean, he's one of your mates, isn't he?
I think butt hurt would be the expression that comes to mind.
Okay. So look, that we are, impressed.
Oh, by the way, one thing though, I would say, how cool was it when he celebrated that England goal at the Euros?
Oh, I didn't watch it. It was football. I had no interest at all.
All right. You know what I mean, don't you? Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Was it good? Did it do something?
It was so cool. And
then
loads of memes flew out on the social media with him sort of getting into fights with West Ham fans and stuff like that. It was really cool.
Oh, gosh.
You guys would love it.
He loves West. I'm not here to talk about football.
He's
because
a Villa fan.
He is, isn't he? Well,
Yeah.
I don't even know where that is. I mean, I've never sold a property there. I would never want. I thought he lived in Windsor.
It's part of the time, yeah.
It is.
I think he lives all over the place.
Windsor, yeah.
He'd be a great client, wouldn't he? He's got loads of houses.
Yeah, but he never sells any of them. they're like passed on.
Go and knock on his door.
Yeah, maybe I could. But no, it was good. Even down to I've noticed some high street branches, big branches. Spice of Heart launched an academy.
Are you allowed to say that?
Yeah, I don't know, but they've launched an academy. And do you know what?
Sincerest form of flattery or whatever it is?
Serious form of whatever. We weren't the first. We won't be the last. And we're not the best.
You know what the first was, because we started our academy because of it. You know what the first academy is that means anything to you and me. Police Academy.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay, so some people aren't as old as you.
That's for the Gen Xers out there.
Yeah. They don't get any of that. So it's like, what I've noticed is what we're finding out in estate agency is all this talk of academies shows there's a gap now where younger people, don't have to all be younger, but in general it's younger people, want to have some sense of training to become into agency. It's not as before, and I would like to make a mention, and I only found out the other day, a very good friend of mine, David Plumtree, a massive CEO of Sequence, and then all the way up, someone I've known from ages, has finally stepped down, made way for another really great guy, Ian Fry. So just, well done, David, I'd like to thank you for your service to real estate and welcome Ian on to us, and hopefully
is
we'll
it
meet
David
up soon.
Plumtree's fault that you're here?
I worked with him back in the day. But look, you've got to work with everyone, right? You work for corporates, you work from independents, you work on your own. Sometimes you work for people from other countries. It doesn't always work out.
And that is a tough decision for someone who's, shall we say, 22, 24,
Yeah,
wants to get into the industry. Which way do I go?
What I'm saying is now, before, back in the day, you'd phone up someone, a recruiter, you'd phone them up. So you'd phone up Ian Dobrin, who's probably the world's biggest recruiter.
Dobbers!
Back in the day. And you would get a job. You'd turn up, you'd walk into a job with no background information. And you're basically told, like I was on the first day, go here and show this property. And I was like, how do you show a property? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Where is it? Do you know what I mean? How do I get to it? What is it? And it's kind of like, and the guy looked at me, the branch manager, Mike, I won't say his surname at the time, but he looked at me and he went, mate, no one told me, work it out. And he walked off.
There you go.
And you have to work it out. And that's a bit like, how it's now evolved so much now that there's now a load of people being estate agency consultants and running around and talking about, this is what you need to do and this is how you can do it and this is the way forward for you and this is what we think to do. By the way, that's 1,200 quid. And it just makes me want to vomit really badly that there is... something's birthed that's a load of crap.
I agree, but rather like your Harley Davidson analogy that earlier about
do not talk about it.
Not for now.
Not good.
But you know what I mean when I say the Harley Davidson has changed a lot recently. Do you not feel that this generation, because they are very different from our generation, the generation in the middle, millennials, whatever. But this current generation, for no fault of their own, they're just different. They've got different things that make them the way they are. Do you think that they do need that sort of 1,200 quid person coming and saying, right, what you do is you put the key in the door, you turn it, you walk in, and there's a house, then you do this, and you turn to them, and this. Do you think that is necessary for the modern wannabe agent broker? Or should you just...
I think
be late,
there's no one...
tie your shoelaces up and fall over into the...
There's no one, I don't think there's anyone out there that you should ignore. If you want to get into real estate, you should listen to everybody, learn anything you can. Some people you're like me, some people you won't, like you. And it's important that you talk to everybody and you get an opinion from everybody so that you can, fabricate your own opinion, but make your own opinion. Sometimes there is two things. You can knock something out and you can become something, and you need to know the both.
My dad used to talk about a mate of his who would he was a big social butterfly and stuff. And
I love that word, social butterfly. Stanley, you got to look at this. When you're at uni, some people be social butterflies. Okay, just work out who
they're the
they
ones
are.
that went to public school.
Yeah.
Anyway. But he had a mate of his who was a New Yorker, actually, proper old school New Yorker, sort of Woody Allen type. And he would go, and my dad would famously say, Danny, he'd go to the opening of an ant farm. Okay. Wow. And I think that's quite important because that's the whole turning up thing, basically. He would go and he'd make more friends and he'd get a bigger social network and that kind of thing. And I've been doing that, I'm 51 years old, no jokes, but... but for the last...
I'm not joking.
For the last 2 or 3 months...
I thought you was older. I mean, you look a fair bit older.
When I haven't been on holiday, I've just been talking to people and meeting people the whole time because you never know. And I've learnt some stuff from some people that I wasn't expecting to, who you look at them social media-wise and go, bloody hell, okay, that's a bit of an iffy brand you got there, or what the hell are you talking about? And then you meet them, it's like, okay, you're actually really interesting, you're clever, you're smart. Get onto your social media marketing manager.
That's where we are.
And the other way round.
That's where we are. And by the way, mate, it's very important where you are out in the sun all the time that you wear sunscreen. It does. You do look a little bit aged. So you have a scenario where there is all of a sudden loads of people and they have really good information. It's just some people deliver it and it's like a bit crap. Some people deliver it and it's like fantastic. Some people really good at delivering crap. Lots of people you look at and you're like, well, and some people, they're in a dark room, you can just about see them, you don't know what's going on, but some of the bits they say are really important. That's why in the round, you've got to listen to this stuff and understand what's changing, what's going on, because it is ever evolving. As much as it stays the same is as much as it also changes. Yeah. And that's what's so exciting about it. So when we're getting the younger kids coming into it, which you and I are an advocate. I've done that right. Yeah. See, not that messed up.
Keep rocking and rolling, mate. Brain's working fine.
I'm a massive advocate for younger people coming into it, and it could be someone that's 25. It could be someone that's 30. How high do you go with people that are young to you? I mean, being someone that's quite
46.
old. 46.
No. I don't know.
Or it could be, someone that's 16 in their bedroom looking what could be a side hustle.
Yeah.
And, this, like we talk about on this podcast, it's about real estate, but it's not real estate. It could be they want to go buy cars. They could be, want to go sell double glazing, which is still a great thing to do. We're becoming saleswomen are becoming educators. And they're now kind of connected together.
And I think also there's this whole thing about a granular estate agency course, for example. I'm talking about getting young people getting into business. And you can go and do your MBAs and go to Nottingham and Trent and do that kind of stuff. Or you can do something that's a little bit looser, like the Academy did, which was more lifestyle. What's really interesting is I was having a casual beverage on the South Bank the other day with someone. And then his mate turned up. Between them, they were younger than me. Okay, they were like 23, 22. These guys.
Jesus, that's young.
I know. And what did they badger me about? How can I get involved in what you and Dan are doing with the Sofa Broker thing? This is incredible. My generation need to see people like you, who normally they'd be a little bit scared about or a bit bored with, talking about real estate in the way that you guys do, and thinking they can get into it through the power of having the ability to knock on doors, or just to be really good at talking to people, not necessarily because they wear a good suit, or they come from the right background, or they've got an estate agency degree, or they've done a summer internship at Savills, or whatever it might be. There isn't, they're saying to me, you need to tell people that there's other way. A lot of people, a generation of people, that there's another way of doing it. And then literally last night, as I was getting ready to come and see you and all that kind of stuff, thinking what we're going to talk about, which we never do think about what we're going to talk about, got a call from a lady in Portugal who was going to do our academy but couldn't do it a while back. 23, 24 years old tops, maybe just finished university. Just saying, I'm reconnecting with you because I know that even though I didn't do the academy, when we chatted, and I think I met Dan on a Zoom or something, I was really enthused to try and move forward with you guys. Although I'm Portuguese, I really want to do something with you guys, whether it's in London or in Portugal or wherever. And I think that what you said there about delivery is so important, because maybe, I'm not saying that we are geniuses, but maybe there's a different way of delivering. It's not just course, do this, do that. Do you know what I'm saying?
This is where, and I think we're fishing around it, and we're never actually land it 100%. And I think that's kind of what makes it so, good. It's like, it is out there. We do talk about it. We do talk about your life skills and the little tips and everything you can get. But it's more the bits you can get from it from us. Are that you are extremely old. I'm not as old, but I'm slightly older, and it's kind of like we have done this.
Very well.
We have done this. We have been round the block. We have seen this, and we have seen it in a lot of places. And but reach out to us. Ask us for questions, and we'll come back. And we'll let you know, and we'll try to include it into the show. To find out. What are you wanting to ask? What is it? And, remember, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Whatever you're going to do. If you're going to go and, you want to do, be in a football team, go to that football team, join it, and make a couple of kicks where the ball's gone left or right. Like whenever I kick a ball, it always goes in the wrong place. But get involved. Turn up. Yeah. When you turn up, stuff gets turned on. And when you turn stuff on, something clicks, and sooner or later something else will click. Even if it's just knocking on that door. The third, the fourth, the 100th time. Someone all told me back in the day, years ago, I can remember, he was smoking a cigarette, chain smoking. You used to chain smoke back then, especially if you were selling double glazing. You had to. And I said to him, mate, I've just knocked on 48 doors. I am knackered. Right? I said, well, no one wants it. No one wants it. What are we doing? And he said, Daniel, you could be one door away from the yes. He said, but I will tell you something, Dan. He said, you're 48 doors closer to the yes than you was when you started.
Beautiful.
And that is what you need to know. And on that point, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening in. Thank you for bearing with us while we had this little hiatus, this little hiatus. So, yeah, still can't talk. So Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube, all of the usual stuff. Check it out. We'll speak to you soon. Thanks a lot.
See ya.